All right. Welcome back to Taking a New Approach podcast. I am so grateful to be here with you. If you clicked on this video, please understand that the universe does not make mistakes. It is a reason why you are here. I thank you. I am so grateful that you even decided to click on it because of the thumbnail or whatever, your intuition, whatever it is. I am so grateful that you did that. So, welcome to Taking a New Approach podcast. If you haven't clicked on this channel before, we are basically just helping people understand themselves, and we are focused on, keyword, focused on you gaining or empowering yourself to understand that it's greater than the matrix that we are in right now. Okay? And trust me, if you go back and listen to some of the videos, you'll understand what this podcast is really about. So I like to always start it off with getting us centered so that we can focus in on the message. And then I go right into the message. So you're going to take 3 breaths. Well, you're going to count to 3. You're going to breathe it in and breathe it out. We do that twice to center ourselves, and then we go right into it. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, breathe in deep. Release that and breathe in deep again. 1, 2, 3, breathing in deep. And go ahead and release that out. Yes, it feels good. So now settle in, enjoy the message. There's something here for you. Take what resonates with you. Just discard the other stuff that doesn't work with you. And then go about your journey, okay? So, as you can see from the title, it says create your vision, right? And I think the issue in this, I'm going to help you and give you a couple of tips about how to come up with a vision. And understand this, like when we think of a vision, everybody thinks that it has to be solid from day one. And that's not true. The greatest thing that you've seen, those people who we quote unquote call successful, they always are flexible with their vision, right? Because you start off with one thing and then you go to another thing. Like for myself, I started off in teaching, right? Because teaching is my passion. That's why I'm doing this, because this is a form of teaching. But I started off in schools, right? So I was a 3rd grade teacher, 5th grade teacher. I taught 4th grade. I taught some college, like summer preparatory type thing. I've been in education for a little bit, right? Before I transitioned. But my vision was that I wanted to create a school, right? Like pretty much like a charter school or something of that essence, right? So I started with that. I didn't really have everything down, but I knew, okay, my next step was I have to become a teacher. And then I wanted to learn how the system works, right? Gather that data, establish myself, and then move on up and do all the things I needed to do to eventually go and figure out how to start my own school. Well, that didn't last long, right? But I know that my vision is to be able to help people and to teach people. So it has changed over time, right? I went into business for myself, went up and down, didn't go as planned, right? Especially with the microwave type of mentality we have nowadays in society. So I learned a lot though on this journey. And in order to get to where you're going, you first have to understand, where are you going? Right? Like if you know, okay, I want to go on vacation, but you don't know where you want to go on vacation, what's going to happen, right? You're going to get frustrated because you like you got to pick a place, right? Even if you get in the car and start driving, there's so many places, you're eventually going to pick a place and then you're like, okay, I'm going to go there. And then you're going to set your directions to that place. But first you have to realize that in order to create your vision for yourself, right? It first starts with deciding. Okay, so that's the first step. Create your vision, but first you have to decide, what is it that you truly desire? Because we're talking, this is a little bit bigger. We're not just worried about, okay, because, Instagram told me I should have this big house, or I should have this type of spouse or mate or whatever, or, because we do live in a narcissistic type of society where it's more me, take, and I'll give you something if what you gave me is greater, right? Like those different types of things. But to get where you want to go, first you have to know. You have to decide. So ask yourself today, have you really decided on it? Because I know for myself, I'd be all over. Like, okay, I want to do this, and then I wanted to do that, and then I wanted to do that, right? And it's okay, like, depending on where you are. Like, if you're in your 20s, don't even sweat it. Like, I'm so serious. Don't even sweat it. I'm 31, and I'm still young to the game. Still young. Not in the sense of, like, I want to act like a 20-year-old, but I'm talking about real success takes time. To build something that's fruitful and fulfilling and that you will really appreciate and can really leave something that is beneficial to people, it takes time. Like, so don't stress yourself out. I see too many of the young people today and people my age and some people older who are always stressing, like, I gotta get this, it's grind time. Oh, such and such, Michael never sleeps or something like that. Or like you just have all these things. Like, it's like, come on now. No one is like that. And if you are, like, you really don't want to be that person at the end of the day. Okay. Like, that's not the goal. The goal is not to be so on that you can't really even enjoy it, or you feel like it's always slipping from you. That's what we're missing. That's why the vision is so important, because it's yours. No one can take your vision from you. That's why it's so powerful, right? Like, you really have to sit there and say, man, this is simply so powerful that no one can take it from me. It's mine. And the only reason why it will not manifest is because I quit. I quit on it. That's it. You quit on it because you were trying to get that microwave success, right? I wanted it in 2 minutes. Like, that's not what's going on. That's not how life really works. And I talked about it. If you're new to the channel and you just finding me, I don't know when you listen to it, whenever you listen to it, that's when you're supposed to hear it. I did a podcast earlier this week, and it was about embrace the struggle, because it is that case where you see people when they're up, but you didn't see the growth, right? You didn't see the moments where they were in the bed crying because they ain't know, or in the car, or when they were losing everything and, it would be considered a loser, and whatever success they have and people looking up to them, they wouldn't even look their way at that moment. Like, you don't see that. But that's truly what it is. But the reason why that person made it and the other person didn't is simply because that person held on to their vision. And they were willing to change. They were willing to change and be adaptable and flexible, malleable to the situations to bring out what they needed to bring out in order to make it to the next step. That's what we have to start to do. And I said we, because same thing. Like, when I started this, and I'm gonna give you the truth. Like, I started this, I had my coworker, really good, great friend. We're working pretty much at a dead end job. Very toxic place. Had great moments, learned a lot spiritually, just like how to deal with people, and saw who I was and saw the leadership I had and things of that nature. I learned a lot, right? I found how to be satisfied in the moment. But he told me, he was like, man, you got a voice. Like, there's not people like you that's just like that can be able to do what you do, and you should use it. Right. And I had that vision for myself, but it was really like, I don't know if anybody want to really listen to me. There's so many people out there, right? All the excuses we give ourselves to not really do anything, to live a mediocre life, a sad life where we always frustrated and hating on others, and just deal with a whole bunch of regret. I don't want to live with regret. I know you don't. If you clicked on this video, whenever you don't want to live with regret. I'd rather keep doing this, publish 1,000 videos before they sit up there and say, man, this ain't it. Right? Like, that's how I am, because I understand it now. Like, I was too focused on the results instead of realizing, like, what if 8 months from now someone listens to this and it just happens to take off, or 16 months from now or 5 years from now, someone hears this and they're inspired and they go on to do something fantastic that changed the world. All it took was me just to hold on to the vision, to just do it. And that's what I'm saying to you. As you are trying to create this vision, just hold on to what you create. Finally decide, what is it that you want to do, and don't hold back. Don't hold back. It is scary. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna act like I'm just this mentally strong person that anything I just rock it. Like, no. Sometimes I get down, the doubt comes, especially if you don't have a lot of self-esteem, or you just wasn't wired that way naturally, or it was built up in you. Like, life throws you a lot of it throws you a lot of problems, right? It throws you a lot of issues where you're just like, man, it just knocks you on your butt. But the thing that life can't do is keep you down. See, you have the decision whether to get up or not. I want you to really think about what I just said. You have the decision to get up or not. You can't control what life throws at you, but you can control that you get back up and face it. Now, that's real. You can control getting back up and facing it. And when that gets too much and you down, you can get back up and go for another round. That's what you can control. And that's the power of the vision. See, the vision is what keeps you going. Because it's like anything. You go on a vacation, right? You don't just be like, okay, I'm going on vacation, and then boom, you're at the vacation. No. You got to get in the car, you get in the Uber, you get in whatever you're doing to go wherever you go, right? You might make stops. Does that mean the vacation ain't going to happen because you made a stop? No. It's just a certain amount of time, okay, you're there, but that place exists. It exists. If you dreamed it up and you hold on to it, that place exists. It's just about how long is it going to take you to get there. And the longer it takes, it's because you're holding on to the limiting beliefs. You're holding on to that fear. You're holding on to the doubt. You're holding on. And that's what's pushing it and making it further away and further away. And now you got to hop on the plane. And now you got to take a boat. Right? Now you got to ride some animals to get there. Because you clearly are you're holding on to all of the things and the people that's trying to get you down. But it's building you up. It's building you up. Please believe. Once you create it in your mind, you're already a success. Now it's just about you manifesting it into your life, into the physical realm. And it takes time. Right? Like, for me to give up after 12 videos, oh, well, one of them didn't go successful, even though I know I got this skill, even though I know I'm saying something real, even though I know that this could be helpful to people, that I have something to give, that I know when I talk to people, they respond in that way. And then I just give up? Why? What really happened? I didn't hold on to the vision. That's what happened. So your first step to to how you create this vision, right? To create your vision is that you have to decide, what is it I truly desire? Is this really my higher self doing this? Is this really what will feed my spirit, my soul? Because if it's not that, especially now in this 2020 and this shift of paradigm, you're going down the wrong road. It's okay if you have a job that you love making money in. That's cool. But you should still have a vision outside of that. Your vision is not determined by the outside. It's determined about what's inside. And that's the confusion that we have going on, is that our society is built on, okay, if you don't have this, if your credit score don't look like this, if your mate doesn't look like this or think like that, and then you judge based off of that, oh, if you ain't talking about this, then you ain't worthy of that. Forget it. What do you decide today is right for you? And be okay with changing it as long as it makes you feel good and it allows you to grow. So that's the number one thing you have to do, is decide. As simple as that. Right? And so the second tip to create this vision, right? You have to start to take steps towards it. Now, I know you've heard this and it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I heard this. And trust me, I didn't listen to enough podcasts, motivational speaking, read the books, went to the conferences. I heard it all. Right? So I understand if you're like, yeah, if you're down on your luck, I understand. But don't, like I said, you decide that you can get up. You might not decide that life is giving you what you want right now, but you damn sure can decide to get up and keep going. So the second thing is, you have to take steps towards that vision. You don't have to, okay, well, I need to be rich by 29. Yeah, that's cool if you're 21 or whatever. If you're 28, heck, if you're 29, that's cool. But don't limit yourself. Because then that's where the issue becomes, that's where you'll have a problem. Because you're like, oh, well, I haven't accomplished this so far. So, like, what am I doing with my life? The issue is you didn't create your vision. You didn't get to know who you are. You keep chasing everybody else's vision, right? Stop chasing everybody else's vision and come up with your own. Because when it's your own and it's something you truly want to do and you believe in, then they can't stop you. It might not come overnight. Nothing ever does. Imagine Michael Jordan, right? For those of you who know who he is, he's a famous basketball player. Most people should know him. But hey, everybody doesn't watch NBA, American basketball. I don't know who's listening to this. But imagine him, right, taking 12 shots his entire life, not in the NBA, his entire life, and then getting to the age he is now, talking about why I'm not the billionaire I was supposed to be, why I'm not the greatest basketball player to ever play the game. He took 12 shots. 12 shots, and that was it. And then he thought that should just be suffice. Come on now. That's not how it works. Right? Like that's not gonna get it done. Now think about your dream. Think about the vision that you either have or you haven't made yet. Think about doing that. Only doing something 12 times for it. Do you really think you're gonna get there? Yeah, some people hit that, that what they say, puncher's chance, which is basically like even if you're down, like if you could throw one lucky punch and win a match, like anybody could do that, right? It's possible. But see, we try to highlight that as the norm, and that's not the norm for most people who are doing what they really want to do in life. It's not how it goes. Like I want you, when you're done with this, go on some of your YouTube pages to channels or whatever it is that you follow, the people you follow, and you will see a lot of those people. Some of them, yeah, they might only have 50 videos and they got 80,000 followers. But when you look at the ones who got a lot of big ones, either it was the right timing, or I've seen people with 1,000 videos and only had like 14,000 subscribers. It's time for you to realize, like, it just doesn't come to everybody like that. It really doesn't. And you don't need a ton of people. You just need to be able to do what you really want to do. So you need to decide for yourself, what does that look like? Like I said, decide. And then how do you get there? Don't worry about what it says. Worry about what you're doing. What are you doing every day? If you want to start a YouTube page, did you start it? What is it going to be about? Did you do research on it? Do you need to do research on it? Do you know how to edit a video? Have you even looked into how to market it? Right? Have you gone in that category that you want to do? Oh, okay, you want to be a lawyer, but you like, I don't think I'm great enough, or whatever it is that you want to do. You want to be a chef. Do you cook at home? Right? Do you even like cooking? Artist. Do you paint enough? Oh, well, I used to like drawing. I don't draw really anymore. You see where we make up every excuse possible, and it will come. Trust me, I stopped. When you look at this, you'll see in the beginning, it's a couple videos, and they are like a year ago, and then the other ones are like 6 months, and then the other ones are recently new. And you'll see the difference, because I got down on myself. I did, because I'm like, I know I could do this. I know that I have something to offer. I really want to help people. Right? Like, it makes me feel good. And plus, it's like, if I don't like what I'm seeing in the world, if I understand I'm an empath and I understand how people are hurting, people are dealing with a lot of trauma, I want to help with that. So how do I get out there and help? Well, okay, let's start focusing on who helps people with trauma. What programs are out there? What can you start to do to learn about it? What are you doing for yourself? Like, how can you heal your own trauma? Right? Like, that's things that I decided for myself, like, okay, let's get to work. And this has morphed over time, right? Like, it's not just about, okay, can I make a lot of money? I don't care, right? Like, money is fantastic. It's great. You should never curse it, because then if you curse it, it won't want to be around you. That's like anybody. You don't want to be around a person who's always cursing you. Same thing. It's energy. However, my goal is, if we can have more stable-minded people, then we can get that would be a better society. And I just want to do my part. That's it. I want to do my part. Who knows what who knows what, right now I'm like, yeah, it's going down, but who knows where it might take me. But I'm not going to give up on it. I'm going to hold on to it. I'm going to keep doing what I got to do. I'm going to keep listening to my intuition. Understand these things. So the first thing, decide. What is your vision? What is it that you really want to do? 2, start to take steps towards it. Doesn't matter what your results end up being, right? But just start taking steps towards it. 3, you have to get in the mentality that no matter what, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Like I said, you can't expect to just do a little bit of work and get a whole bunch of glory. That's not how this is not how the laws of the universe work. You got to put in some work. Put in some time. There's people that's still working, and yeah, they build up to where they have They're doing kind of what they want to do, but they're still not there. But they've been putting in, they finally hit it. And it's like 7 years. It's been a decade. Your life is not about what you attain. It's really not. It's not about what you attain. It's about what you are doing to fulfill yourself. If it takes you 20 years, you don't think during those 20 years you're going to have some good years? It's not just going to all of a sudden, boom, happen on the 20th year. And if it does, you're going to feel like, man, it was worth it. Because it's going to be everything. It's going to be everything that you really thought it was. And probably even more where you just like, man, I'm so glad I did not give up. You have to know it's going to happen. Even in the face of reality of it looking like, man, this ain't going to happen. It's not. Like, you got to get creative. Like, for me, I just posted videos and that was it. That was it. Did I market it on my Instagram? No. Did I create an Instagram for it and join some people, start getting in groups that would probably like this type of stuff? No. Could I really say I've done everything to make it work? No. And that's what you have to realize. Like, it's going to happen. But have you done everything that can make it work? Do you have the opportunity to work with someone in the same field that you want to do? See, a lot of times people don't want to work for free. I remember I had a coworker and I was still teaching. I was teaching third grade, and her husband was really actually successful here in Houston. I live in Houston, and he was really successful in real estate at the time. I don't know. I kind of lost contact, and I didn't know him. I barely knew my coworker like that. It was just another teacher, but we knew of each other. So I was talking to another coworker, and she was like, "Oh, well, such and such name, he does this stuff. Like, you should go and talk to him and get his number because he probably will like you." Okay, I'm like, okay. I go over there, talk to her, like, "Oh, such and such said that your husband does this type of work. I was wondering if I could get his number and kind of pick his brain." She was like, "Oh yeah, that's fine." Like, and she drove this big, nice Lexus truck, and I'm like, I'm like, well, how much she getting paid? Because I know Steven, we ain't getting, he ain't getting that much. Like, well, how she could afford that, right? But that made sense now, right? And so one day, I didn't even call him right away. But one day I was reading Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. And he was just saying, basically, go for it. The worst thing that can happen, you got to take some action. Right? You got to take action. Take steps towards it. That's number 2, right? To create this vision, you got to take steps to it. So I went and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to call him. And I called him, he answered the phone, and I was like, I just want to learn the business, and I'm willing to work for free, and I just want to work. And he was like, you know what? Yeah, that's cool. I probably can't pay. I probably won't. Like, I think he said he was like, he'd be willing to pay me. It probably won't be what I make as a teacher, but like he don't want to just get me for free. And I was like, okay, cool. That works out. But you see, like, you got to take those steps because you might end up gaining so much and running into the right people just by taking that opportunity. But it didn't start until you decided what your vision was. And didn't get better until you decided to take those little steps. And 3, you got to understand that no matter what, it's going to happen. Because then you keep going. It's not just, okay, I took a couple steps and that's it. No, you keep going and understand, okay, this is going to happen for me. Step 3, you have to know it's going to happen. There are going to be road bumps along this, right? Imagine, like I said, imagine Michael Jordan, or imagine yourself working out for 2 years straight, and then you decide for the rest of your life you're not going to work out, eat right, anything. But you think that it's just going to work out well for you. It's not really going to work out well, right? Like, you constantly are putting in the time. And that would be number 4, basically, is put in the time. So know it's going to happen and put in the time. Anybody that's in shape, what are they always doing? Working out, eating right, right? They're putting in the time to maintain and keep growing. Even right now, wherever you are, how did you get to where you are? You kept putting in the time. Whether that's getting up and going to work, whether you like it or not, that's putting in the time. You couldn't just be like, all right, I'm going to go to work for a week and then like not go ever again and still keep getting paid for however long you've been working there. Really? Like, really? Do you really think that's what's going to happen? Not at all. So that's the same thing. No, you don't have to be the grind. I like Gary Vee, but you don't have to be, like that's not, that doesn't mean that you're going to get there. Right? Like that doesn't mean you're going to get there just because you're always busy. Because you could be busy running in a circle. Doesn't like, just because you're active doesn't mean it's impactful. Active does not equal impactful. You want to make impactful moves. So put in the time towards some impactful things. Right? Like that means, okay, 1 week you didn't do anything, but the next week that was because the thing that you needed to get done, it couldn't get done until the next week. Right? To the next week. Yeah. So now you have to do something else during that time, or maybe if it was just a time where you just took time and you just was enjoying life, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. And we have to get out of, like I said, that microwave success. It doesn't come that quickly. It doesn't. It doesn't come that quickly. So let's put in the time and understand that it's going to come. My time is going to come. And I'm going to embrace every second of this. That's the whole thing about the other one. If you haven't listened to that other one, go and listen to Embrace the Struggle. Because that's really what it's about. Putting in the time and being okay with not being where you think you should be. But the issue that a lot of people have with the embracing the struggle is that they don't even have a vision. They just kind of like winging it. And it's okay to wing it if you still kind of have that vision set in stone, right? Like, okay, I know exactly where I'm going. I don't know all the steps to it, and we're going to wing it a little bit. But, I know exactly how it looks. I know how it should feel, right? That's how, blow out that vision. How do you want to feel when you're doing that work? Do you want to feel like it's bliss? Do you want to feel like it's joy? Do you want to be able to be appreciative? Feel gratitude? Do you want to feel happy and have and help people? Do you want it to be where you're making a lot of money? Whatever it is, start to build it. If you want to do a vision board, cool. Vision boards, I'm not the vision board type of person, but I'm not going to say it doesn't work because people have done it. You have to decide for yourself. But I would say get pen and paper and start to write it down. Write the feelings of it. Maybe even write a story about it, right? Like, because your imagination is extremely powerful. That is the God within you, right? Like, whether you Christian or whatever you want to believe, that's fine with me. But the God is your imagination. That is what you create. So, and if your mind believes it's real, then it's real. Whether you want to say it's not, that's how the mind works. I've been putting in my time on the neuroscience and stuff like that, but that's how the body works. That's how the mind works. If you see it, your mind can't, your subconscious, your mind can't tell what's real or not. If it's happening inside, it believes it is. That's why they always tell you, be careful of what you're saying to yourself. And that's why you have like virtual reality. Virtual reality isn't real, but once you put on those things and what you're seeing, your mind believes it's real. So that's just an example for those who don't believe it, right? That what you that your mind can believe something that's not happening in real and what we call our physical reality, but they believe it's true. So whatever you're creating in your mind, that's what's going to manifest. So make something great. Make something that's really attainable for yourself. And attainable doesn't mean that you dream small. No, 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 no. Attainable means it's something that you really desire. Because some people just be creating crazy stuff. And that ain't even, it's not even what they really desire. It's just because they can. And that's okay, but make it where it's believable to you. Because the more believable it is, the more real it will become, and the more you will start to see it into your life. So as you think about when you clicked on this video and you say, create your vision, that's one of the issues why you're not successful right now in the terms of what you want to see as success in your life, is because your vision is not right. You need to get it clear. You need to have at least something where you know, like, okay, I have this. I know I want to make money selling art, and I know I want my days to be about creating art, and I want to do a blog about art. You see, like, that's a real vision, because now you have something where, okay, like, you want to have a blog that's successful, that's in the art community. You know how you want to make the money. You know, now get into more and build it as you go along. It's never always perfect when you first start. But as long as you start, you have something. You can build from that. You can grow from that. So understand this and recognize that your dreams are not over. Let's just build out that vision. So the first step, say it with me, is you have to decide. You have to decide, what is this vision that I am going after? If you have to change it, that's okay. That's a part of it. Life lesson. So if you ever get interviewed because of your success, that's a part of your story. That's why you listen to this. That's why you listen to successful people. They talk about all the time. Well, I was working at McDonald's. I was working over here. I was sleeping and eating this. Right? Had a couple news for 2 years straight, trying to figure out how to make this thing work. You know, like that's kind of how it all works, right? Not for every success story. And it doesn't mean that you have to lose everything. But for some of you, you might have to lose everything because that's what's blocking you from truly getting to where you need to be. So the first step is to decide on the vision. The second step, right, is take some steps towards the vision. Third step is to know that it is going to happen. You cannot give up. Like I said, life can throw a whole bunch at you and you can't control what life throws at you, per se, right? Like your mind attracts whatever you think about and focus on is usually what attracts into your life. But sometimes things happen where we can't control it. And it is what it is. However, you can control getting back up and you can control facing it. So don't give up on that. Remember that. I can't control this messed up situation, but you know what? I can control to face it and make it through. So those three are critical. And the fourth one, of course, even more critical. Put in the time. Because if you don't put in the time at all, then nothing will happen. You could build the vision. You can start to take steps towards it. And you can know that you can never give up on it. But if you're not putting in impactful time, then it's not going to happen. Right? Like we want to outdo the work. We want to work around it. You got to put in the work. Trust me, if I can find a way not to do the work and get to I'll be a trillionaire. Right? I'll be a trillionaire. That's a fact. I would be a trillionaire. But it's no way around it. You got to put in the work. This is work. Me doing the podcast. Like I could want, oh man, why am not people being inspired and I'm helping people and people doing the coaching service where I can help them with the situation so they can feel empowered and know how to move forward in their life and the book and all this other stuff. Well, I ain't putting in the work. You gotta write the book. You gotta record. Right? You gotta learn the techniques to help people. You gotta put in that time. And there's gonna be times where you don't. And it's okay. Don't allow people to tell you, oh, it ain't okay that you, like, it's okay that you don't sometimes put in the work. It is. Like, some days you're not going to be able to do it. Don't beat yourself up about it. And that's what I really mean. Like, that don't mean never to do the work. Yeah, he said it was okay. I didn't do the work. No. Like, you got a consistency, right? But there's going to be days where you don't work as hard or you don't do what you were supposed to do. And it's okay, though. Don't beat yourself up. Nowadays, people are like, oh, well, if you know I don't want 1,000 times, and you don't have to be that way. Love what you do, and the rest will work, right? Like the rest will work out. As long as you love what you do, as you're putting in the time, and sometimes it's going to be things doing that and doing those moments of putting in the work, it's not going to be enjoyable. Like we get into this, and this is the last thing. We get into this idea that every single minute is exciting. It's not. Right? I'm pretty sure if you talk to anyone who's successful in whatever they deem success or uber successful in the way that the society deems success, they will tell you some of the parts that are boring to them. But they do it because it has to get done. Right? That's all it is. It just has to get done. And look at it as that way. This is a part of the journey. This is a part to be that I can enjoy all the other amazing things. Like, think about that. If you got 25 amazing things that come with your vision, and there's only maybe 3 things that are not that interesting that you're like, I really don't like doing this. Are you really going to give up the 25 things that you truly love, that you recognize is like, that's like life to you? That is like, it's music to your ears. It fills your cup. It fills your soul. You're going to give that up because of 3 little things. Even if there's 3 big things, you still got 22 other things greater than that. So understand those things and recognize it in your life. So get that vision going. Determine what it is today or in the coming weeks or the coming months. Don't beat up on yourself about it. You're worthy of a great life. You're worthy of it. It's not going to happen It's not going to happen overnight. Trust me, my vision is just getting better, and I've been doing this for years now in terms of just putting in the spiritual work and the things that I'm doing right now. So keep working, keep going, but build out the vision and start taking steps towards it. Believe that it can happen. Believe and know. Just know it's going to happen. Not even believe, because belief can waver. Know it's going to happen. And then put in the work. Put in that time on it. And once you do that, I can guarantee you that you're going to get to somewhere where even if the first vision didn't happen, along the journey, you're going to be like, oh, it's going to be that aha moment. And then you're going to be off to that. And maybe it might be 3-4 aha moments. But know then that during that time, as long as you stay grateful, you're going to have things to do. So, I love you. Thank you for listening. I'm going to end it here. If you please like, subscribe, share this audio, share this. If you want to get into the coaching services, the links are down below. Email me, comment, and yeah, just understand that it's meant for you to do well in life. Life is meant to go well. But even though it's meant to go well, doesn't mean that we don't have hiccups. You don't have moments where you kind of get down. It's like any life. It's like any life. You have moments where right now you could be like, man, that was the bomb year of my life. And you have some where it's like, but you're still here. So look at your journey as that and create that vision. So I love you, and I'm sending you love and light and peace, and I'll talk to you on the next one. So thank you for listening.